Hi friends, welcome to my channel, welcome to Words. I'm Jen, I'm a speech-language pathologist and I specialize in early childhood. I work with children who have developmental disabilities and speech and language delays. So if you're here, you may be the parent of one of my students. So I would love to provide tips and tricks that you can use at home, especially now. This channel is started during the COVID-19 quarantine. So I know that it's very difficult not having your child in school. It's very difficult for us. We miss your children so much. And we really just want to try to continue their progress, maintain that progress, and help them succeed from home as well. So if you're here, thank you. And I hope that some of this information can help you. The first topic that I'm going to speak about is core vocabulary. And I'm going to introduce to you what these visuals are because in the following videos that you'll see that I use these boards quite often. This is something that we use every day in therapy at the school that I work in. And it's great for children who are on the autism spectrum, who are speech and language delayed, and these visuals can be used even for children who do not have those developmental disabilities or delays. Visuals can help any student. It's great for word retrieval, for expanding sentences, so it's just an all-around great tool. So I'm going to just give a quick and simple introduction on what core vocabulary is, and if you see me looking over here, it's because I'm referencing some notes that So what is core vocabulary? Core vocabulary are the words that make up most of our language. 85% of what we say on a day-to-day basis is made up of core words. Core words are often pronouns, they are verbs, commonly used verbs, descriptors, prepositions. They tend to be more abstract, which is why it's great to use visuals to represent these words. And they are words that can be used across a variety of settings for many different purposes. It's really important to think about the function of language, especially for children who are developing language and they're just starting to understand and to develop their vocabulary. We want to think about the most functional means of communication. What are the things that we want a child to achieve? So we, of course, want the child to be able to express their wants and needs, so we're going to work on requesting. We're going to work on labeling, because labeling is a precursor to commenting and a precursor to later on conversation. We also want a child to be able to reject or protest so that we can diminish some undesired behaviors. We want them to functionally reject rather than maybe throwing themselves on the floor or throwing a tantrum. And it's also really important for somebody to be able to deny something that they don't want. We also want to think about responding to people. We want to think about coding possession. So words like "that's mine." These are all really important communicative functions, things that we want your child to strive for. So when we think of core vocabulary, these are the words that are great for meeting these purposes. So I'm going to show you right now what a core board is. This is a core board that we developed at our school, and some of you might have seen these before. Some of your children use them. Most of our kids use them day to day, but I know some children use these at home as well. The words that we chose, these are just basic 20 words that we use very often. I want more, yes, no, bathroom, you, do, play, help, in, on, all done, like, open, go, stop, my, hi, and bye. Now, these are only 20 words, but think about how many messages your child can convey using just these 20 words. They can greet their friends and their family, people that they know. They can ask for assistance when something is very difficult. They might need help. They can answer yes and no questions. They can express their wants and needs. They can take turns. They can elicit action by giving us commands, saying go or stop or play. And they can let us know when they want more of something or when they're all done. So they can also terminate activities when they no longer wish to participate in them. So this core board is very valuable. Another thing that I want to talk about is how we can use it to model language. So like I said before, this is not just for your child to use, it's for us to use as well. A child will pick up on what we're doing, so we always want to model good communication. When they see us using the symbols frequently, they're more inclined to use them, and that also helps them understand language better. So if we're just using our words and talking to a child, but that child is not yet verbal, and we expect them to use the board, well, that's not very effective because they're not seeing us model. If you're talking to a child who is verbal, we would be using our words, right? And they would be using their words back. Well, it's the same thing. If the child is not yet verbal, we want to be communicating with visual symbols, and we want to supplement that with our speech, of course. And we expect them to respond back to us using the symbols. So this is something called aided language stimulation. Fancy term, all it means is that we want you to model language for your child by pointing to pictures as you're saying the word. So you could say, oh my goodness, I want to play with you. What do you want to play today? And the child might say, I want the train. And we could say, oh, I like the train. I like the train. Do you like the train? Yes or no? Do you like the train? So of course, all children are at different levels, and some children, all of these words might be actually too overwhelming for them, and we have modified core boards. Some boards are simpler. They might only have a few of these symbols on them. So it's really just about knowing your child and their level and meeting them there. So this is a more advanced board, but this is the one I'm going to be using in a lot of the videos. We can use these context-specific boards. I tend to use these in therapy when I'm trying to expand vocabulary and work on vocabulary within a specific activity. So these boards have some nouns on them as well, and those are called fringe words. Those are just words that are more specific. We might not be using these all the time. We might not, for instance, pop. That's not a word that we're going to be using all day, every day. We're probably only going to be using this word when we're talking about bubbles or balloons. So these are great for expanding vocabulary and acquiring novel vocabulary. So you'll see me using these in our videos as well. I'm going to send out, if you're a parent of one of my students, I will be sending out these core boards. If you are not a parent of one of my students, you can always comment below. I will try to get your email address, and I will be happy to send you these boards so you can use them at home as well. So I hope that this information has been helpful, and stay tuned for more videos.